Ever wondered how to make perfect vanilla buttercream for your cakes or cupcakes? This luxurious frosting, with its velvety texture and sweet, rich flavor, is the secret ingredient that takes your baking creations from good to outstanding. It's not just about the sweetness, but the delicate hint of vanilla that complements the cake without overpowering it. And the best part? It's easier to make than you might think. So if you're ready to elevate your baking skills to the next level, stay tuned to learn how to make perfect vanilla buttercream. Before we dive into the process, ensure you have all the necessary ingredients. To make our luscious vanilla buttercream, you will need unsalted butter, powdered sugar, heavy cream, vanilla extract, and a pinch of salt. Let's talk about the role of each ingredient. The unsalted butter is the base of our buttercream, providing a creamy, velvety texture. It's important that it's unsalted, so we can control the salt level ourselves. Powdered sugar sweetens our buttercream and helps thicken it to that perfect spreadable consistency. Heavy cream adds richness and lightness to the buttercream, making it fluffy and airy. Vanilla extract gives our buttercream its signature flavor, adding a sweet aromatic depth. Finally, a small pinch of salt enhances all the flavors, making the sweetness of the buttercream pop without making it too sweet. Once you have all these ingredients ready, you are set to start the preparation. The first step to making perfect vanilla buttercream is preparing the butter. To achieve the perfect texture for your buttercream, you'll need to start with butter that's been softened to room temperature. This means it's pliable but not melted. If you press it, your finger should leave a dent, but the butter should still hold its shape. A quick tip: if you forgot to take your butter out of the fridge in advance, just cut it into small cubes and leave it on your kitchen counter. It should reach the right consistency in about 15 minutes. Now let's talk about the beating process. This is where the magic really starts. You're going to need either a stand mixer or a hand mixer for this. If you're a baking enthusiast, a stand mixer is a worthy investment. If not, a hand mixer will do the job just fine. Start with a medium speed to break up the butter. Once it starts to loosen up, crank up the speed to high. You're looking for a light and creamy texture here. It's important to beat the butter well, as this will determine the overall texture of your buttercream. Some bakers even suggest beating for up to 7 minutes to reach a fluffy, almost white consistency. While you're beating the butter, make sure to scrape down the sides of the bowl occasionally. This ensures that all the butter gets evenly beaten. And remember, patience is key. You might be tempted to rush this step, but trust me, the end result will be worth the wait. As you beat the butter, you'll notice it becoming lighter in color. This is a good sign. It means you're incorporating air into the butter, which will make your buttercream fluffy and easy to spread or pipe onto your cakes or cupcakes. Now that your butter is perfectly creamy, it's time for the next step. Remember, the secret to great buttercream is all in the preparation. So take your time, enjoy the process, and stay tuned for our next stage, adding sugar and cream. Now it's time to add sweetness and creaminess to your buttercream. Firstly, we will integrate the powdered sugar. It's crucial to remember that we need to add this gradually to the butter. You might be tempted to dump it all in at once, but resist that urge. Adding the sugar slowly allows it to mix thoroughly with the butter, leading to a smoother and more homogeneous texture. Start with adding about 1/4 of your powdered sugar to the butter. Now turn on your mixer and let it do its magic. You'll notice that the butter starts to take on a lighter color and fluffier consistency. That's the sugar working its magic. Once the first portion of sugar is well incorporated, repeat the process with the next 1/4 of sugar. Remember, patience is key here. Now let's talk about the cream. This is where the richness and creaminess of your buttercream come into play. Heavy cream is the secret ingredient that transforms your mixture into that dreamy, creamy delight we all love on our cakes and cupcakes. So once all the sugar has been incorporated into the butter, it's time to introduce the heavy cream. Just like with the sugar, add the cream gradually while continuing to beat the mixture. You'll notice your buttercream will start to look even lighter and fluffier. This is exactly what we want. Keep beating until everything is well combined. A quick note here, the amount of cream you use can be adjusted based on your desired consistency. If you want a denser buttercream, use less cream. For a lighter, airier texture, don't hesitate to add a bit more. So there you have it. You've successfully added sugar and cream to your butter, transforming it into a fluffy and creamy mixture that's just begging to be spread on a cake. But remember, you should now have a fluffy and creamy mixture, but we're not done yet. We still have a few more steps to perfect this scrumptious vanilla buttercream, so stick around. Now for the final touches that will make your buttercream truly outstanding. It's time to introduce the star of the show, the vanilla extract. This isn't just any old ingredient, it's what gives our buttercream its signature flavor. Now, you might be tempted to just pour it in, but hold on a second. We're going to measure out exactly 1 teaspoon of this liquid gold. Accuracy here is key. Too little and your buttercream might taste bland, too much and it could become overpoweringly sweet. So let's stick to the golden rule. A teaspoon it is. Next up, we're going to add a pinch of salt. Yes, you heard it right, salt. Before you raise your eyebrows, let me tell you, this tiny addition can make a world of difference. It's like the secret ingredient in a magic potion. It's going to enhance the sweetness of the buttercream without making it salty. Just a pinch, remember? We're not making salted caramel here. Alright, we've got all our ingredients in the bowl now. It's time to beat it all together. Now this isn't a race. You want to start slow and gradually increase the speed. This way our ingredients get a chance to know each other, to mingle and blend smoothly. We're looking for that perfect, spreadable consistency. Not too stiff, not too runny, just right. And how do you know when you've hit the sweet spot? Well, your buttercream should hold its shape when spread or piped, but it should also be soft enough to melt in your mouth. It's a delicate balance, but once you've got it, you'll know. This, my friends, is how you create the most delectable, velvety, smooth vanilla buttercream. It's the kind of stuff that dreams are made of. And it's not just for cakes and cupcakes. Spread it on cookies, sandwich it between macarons, or just eat it by the spoonful. We won't judge. There you have it. Perfect vanilla buttercream for your cakes and cupcakes. Scene script. Before we wrap up, here are some essential tips and common issues you might face while making vanilla buttercream. Let's take a quick jog down memory lane. First, we gathered our ingredients, ensuring we had high-quality butter, sugar, cream, and of course vanilla extract. Remember, quality is key. The better your ingredients, the tastier your buttercream. Next, we prepared the butter. It's crucial to have your butter at room temperature. Too hot, and it'll be too runny, too cold, and it won't blend well. Achieving the perfect consistency is all about patience and precision. Then, we added the sugar and cream, slowly and steadily. The secret to a smooth and creamy texture is to add these ingredients gradually, while constantly stirring. If you dump everything in at once, you might end up with a lumpy or grainy mixture. Finally, we added the final touches, adjusting the flavor with more vanilla or sugar if needed. Remember, taste is subjective. Don't be afraid to make the recipe your own by adding your personal touch. Now let's talk troubleshooting. If your buttercream is too runny, it's likely because your butter was too warm. To fix this, simply chill your mixture in the fridge for a few minutes, then whip it again. If it's too thick, on the other hand, try adding a little more cream and continue to whip. But be careful not to overdo it, or you might end up with soup instead of frosting. Another common issue is graininess. This usually happens if your sugar isn't fully dissolved. To prevent this, make sure to beat your buttercream until it's light and fluffy. If you're still having trouble, try sifting your sugar before adding it to the mix. If your buttercream tastes too buttery for your liking, you can balance it out by adding a pinch of salt or a bit more vanilla extract. And if it's too sweet, a squeeze of lemon juice can cut through the sweetness without altering the overall flavor. Remember, practice makes perfect. Don't be discouraged if your first few attempts aren't perfect. Keep trying, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep having fun. Now you are equipped with everything you need to make flawless vanilla buttercream. Happy baking!